We are back. I feel like the font changed on this since the last time I had this open. But the liar is obviously Maya, Kristoff, or both of them. I say both of them. Both of them! How does that work? How does it even help you with your case? Yeah, I don't know. I have baked it. Give me a penalty, let's move on. Really? I wasn't gonna give you a penalty, Mr. Justice. Really, Your Honor? No, that's... Oh, fuck off. Okay. We need to actually decide who was lying. Maya was lying. You, Miss Butts. Me? Well, that's certainly not your wisest decisions, Mr. Justice. Huh? Don't get me wrong, it's possible, but... Ah, yeah, that is true. Obviously, Kristoff is lying. Of course, me? There's nobody else that can be. Is it possible for Miss Butts to have been this liar? Or at least she was mistaken about the times? No, it's not. He sounds quite confident, Mr. Kristoff Gavin. Perhaps you should admit to your lie now. What the? No! I did not lie. Fine, have it your way. Apollo Justice. I'm getting the feeling that she found Gavin's testimony a bit too convenient as well. Yes, I'm on it. Prove that Miss Butts isn't the liar. With what? God, it's been too long. This is bad. I don't remember the specifics anymore of what her testimony was. Sure, why not? Let's go with this. Ah, that proves nothing. What? Way. We get kicked back here. Interesting. Oh, Miss Trucy. You can easily testify as to the time she saw Miss Butts meet her in the hallway. Oh, now you need me. Yeah, sorry. About earlier. You aren't forgiven. But you're right, I do remember the time Miss Maya and I met in the hallway. It was about 9:35. And she could have been lying as to her position up to this point. 9:35. Time of death between 9:30 and 10. Why would she, though? By all accounts, Mr. Butts was alive at that point. From that point on, both of them have perfect alibis. Ergo, there is no reason for them to lie. Which means, the liar must be you. Just because they have no reason to, doesn't mean they didn't. Yeah, it has been horribly convenient from the start. You just so happen to be in the neighborhood? You just so happen to walk into this trial? You just so happen to give testimony that acquits Mr. Wright? Please, the liar is you. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you?
Objection!
He doesn't need to. provided valid reason for your testimony being doubtful. Testimony which was never investigated by the police department. Yeah, because they didn't know about it, or even officially accepted by the prosecution. As far as I'm concerned, your reasons are null and void. Miss Von Karma, whose side are you on here exactly? Ooh, whoa! Ugh, what on earth? I cannot excuse such pathetic and obvious lie. I did not lie. The evidence is hardly on your side. In any case, it means that Mr. Wright's alibi falls to pieces. Mr. Gavin's testimony can't be trusted after all. It means he's once again a valid suspect. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say to that? I say... I don't care. Huh? I've never seen this man before in my life. If he's lying, can't imagine why. And if he is, it's completely irrelevant. After all, you've still to answer my last problem. Well, which was? Aye, somebody has a lacking memory. Thank you, well done. It's a rather major issue. Refreshing my memory, I would have noticed that the window wasn't closed. Hence, what you're suggesting is impossible. That is, my trick becomes impossible. Now that, on the other hand, is a valid point, Apollo Justice. Can you explain it? He can't. I can see it in his eyes. Well, yeah, this is a bit of an issue. Let's see. Apparently, the window can't be closed fully from the outside. Unless the door is broken down. Maybe we've been able to notice the window was still open. That's more or less the gist of what he's saying. Is there anything wrong with that? Any wrong assumptions, maybe? I would argue yes, just for the sake of arguing. There's just a simple explanation. Your very assumptions are wrong. Really? You'd think that if I'd gotten my facts wrong, I would have been corrected by Miss Von Karma. I didn't notice anything wrong. Well, to be fair, you don't think this is a murder. Clearly we aren't on this boy's psyche. I like this remix. So let's hear it. What's wrong in my assumption? Well, let's try this. I may have to backtrack on this. This, obviously? Yeah, obviously. How did I not think of that? What about this? Something simple we're missing. Here. Maybe we're not missing it. Let's see where this rewinds us after we get penalized. I do not know how you did not think of that. It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, it's quite logical. Ow! The sarcasm. It hurts. I should probably give it some more thought. Let's see. Apparently the window can't be closed fully from the outside. Because when the door was broken down, they would be able to notice the window was still open. It's more or less the gist of what he's saying. Anything wrong with that? I'm gonna say no. You're correct in your assumptions. Miss Smith would have probably seen the window open if you'd left it like that. And there you go, game over. If you'd left it like... oh. she did see it open. I guess she's your... Oh. That took a rather unexpected turn. What? Are you insane? Well, no, what? You're accusing me again? After apologizing 2 seconds ago? Well, if you just let me... No, you listen here. What? Oh. Sure. Total nonsense. Why on earth would I help a guy like Wright kill my own employer? But okay, let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Even though we really shouldn't. Tell me, what's the deal with this window business anyway? I couldn't Wright have simply had left it open. I even would have assumed that the culprit had shot Larry and left the room. Wright would have hardly come under suspicion that way. Is this another branching path? Miss Smith, please calm down. To hell with that. Oh, you want to play rough? I'll play rough. Trucy's fucking pissed. I'm not gonna let anyone walk all over me. I especially won't let someone accuse me of murder. Twice. He's accusing you of being an aid to murder, dear. Not the actual murder. Same thing. They're actually not. Who cares? He's still accusing me of something I didn't do. Bah. Defense attorneys are all alike. I don't know about that. Oh? Right. But still, most of them are. I really want the truth. No, looking for things that aren't there. Now, if that was all, I'll be... Objection! Hey, what about my cross-examination? Nah, whatever. You won't find a contradiction. Francisca's sitting there going, what just happened? Wait, actually. I think I actually see an easy answer to her question. I mean, I could still go through the examination itself to be sure, but it might be unnecessary here. Say, oh, we can skip this. We can legitimately skip the cross-examination here. Naturally, we're going to play the cross-examination. Let it commence. And we're going to go back and skip the cross-examination. Because I need Trucy to dunk on me consistently. Oh god, super objection. Well, there could be a lot of reasons. Name one. Well, actually, I don't care. That's not my point anyway. Besides, I'm sure if I let you have leeway with something like that, you'd come up with some crazy story, so I won't waste my breath. What I'm saying is, it's just strange how I team up with some random friend of Larry's. Yeah, thanks. I didn't hate Mr. Butts. I especially saw no reason to see him dead. But you don't care, do you? Huh. Fair enough, then. But okay, let's give you the benefit of the doubt, even though we really shouldn't. Clearly we need to super object to that. And why not? Because you're spouting a bunch of nonsense. Throwing accusations as you see fit. Where's the reason in that? You claim you want the truth. The path to it. It's blind accusations so you can have your theory make sense. And frankly, I have to question how you're a competent lawyer. Ooh. Harsh. Once again, calm down, Miss Smith. There are better times to hurt the defense's ego, I assure you. I'm a master of it. People pay me for it. For now, you can focus on hurting his theory. Tell me, what's the deal with this window business, anyway? What do you mean by that? Well, if you would let me finish... Ow, my ears. All the shouting. You couldn't write, simply have left it open. Well, that's obviously the autopsy report. That's a good point. The entire plan could have been handled very differently. Well, it turns out what exactly changes with the window staying closed? What would Wright have had to gain by closing the window? I'm waiting. Huh? You yelled, hold it. Still waiting for the question. Of course you didn't have one, did you? I don't understand how you're surprised by my hostility. When you pull crap like this. I'm sorry. Sorry! No, you're not sorry. You're Apollo. Before this is all over, you will be. Now listen up. Everyone would have assumed that the culprit had shot Larry and left the room. I don't know about that. It would have been the most logical conclusion. Would it have, though? Everyone really have assumed that if they saw the scene like that? We need to develop a what-if scenario here. Well, he's deep in thought. You might as well continue, Miss Smith. What would have been the ultimate result of leaving the window open? Wright would have hardly come under suspicion that way. So, essentially, it would have been assumed that some passerby walked by the house, saw an open window, and shot Mr. Butts. With all due respect, my theory seems much more logical. It's not the same. The logical conclusion in this scenario would be suicide. In the case of the open window, it would have been treated as murder. Actually, it probably wouldn't have even been that. As long as the gun was still in Mr. Butts' hand. Suicide would have been more probable. Well, thanks for flat out giving me my answer. You can't know that. You're right, I can't. But that's not what happened, is it? The window is closed, and it's your job to explain why. Well, are we done yet? No, we're not. Are you going to answer my questions already or not, then? Just give me a moment here, will you? Once again, I must advise you to calm down, Miss Smith. He isn't making it easy for me, you know. Thank you, Apollo. Well... You see that Mr. Wright wouldn't have come under suspicion. If the window was left open, the story would have been quite different. It would have no longer been a perfect suicide. It would have been possible to claim that it was murder. And if it got a trial under these circumstances, there's a chance the police would have looked into the matter a bit more in depth. What would have happened then? I'll tell you. Maybe it's the same theory I did. You don't. When you combine the fact that Mr. Wright suspiciously came back, the fact that Mr. Butts had no clear reason for his suicide, to the point where the chief prosecutor had a trial held to investigate it, it would be considered suspicious to the point where the police would have investigated more thoroughly. No, he had to ensure there were no other possibilities. The window had to be closed. Sorry, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's improbable for me and Miss Smith to have worked together. You're saying it's true because you need it to be true. And that's no way to do things. Well, what else am I supposed to do? Still, it can't be directly disproven. A what? Don't misunderstand. It's incredibly contrived and improbable. And I do agree it's a theory made for the sake of things making sense. Don't bother, and let me get to my point. My question is this, one that Miss Smith brought up earlier. Why? What possible reason would these two have for working together? Actually, let's expand it a bit. What on earth would be the motive behind this murder? Yeah! I had no reason to kill Mr. Botts. Neither did I. Business was going swimmingly, as far as I'm concerned. Damn. I don't know enough about them to actually speculate that much. I can try and guess, but even then it's far-fetched. Mr. Justice? Okay. Just think this through. Show a valid reason. Maybe I can explain. It's reasonable that these two work together. The motive of Mr. Butts' murder was... Gotta get his ledger? That's the only thing I can think of. I'll do this. This! Not this. A hot dog's a better reason to kill someone. Sandwiches, but... well, not much of a reason. Agreed. Ah, well... lovely. Of course. Mr. Justice? Okay, let's think this through. Oh, it's Maya. Made so many bluffs today. What's one more? Only one thing comes to mind. And that is Maya Butts. Maya. I believe she herself brought this up, but... upon Mr. Butts' death, she's the one who gets the entirety of his estate. Therefore... objection! No. Miss Maya had nothing to do with this. Interesting. Did I get a nerve? Objection! I'm not saying she did. What I am saying is that was your reason for doing it. It's obvious you care a lot about. It's obvious you care about her. Objection! No. We care about being accused of murder. Something we didn't do. But... objection! Whoa. Everyone, calm down. Miss Maya. Miss Butts. You wanted to say Maya, too. You've made quite a bit of accusations here, Mr. Justice. Some of them are fairly interesting. But for the most part, you have to admit that you're taking shots in the dark. That's... there's no point in denying it, you know. It's quite obvious that you've come here unprepared. Not that anything could have prepared you for this. It's insane to suggest that Trucy and Mr. Wright worked together. It's even more insane to suggest they would have killed Larry. Give me something I practically already had. Miss Butts, with all due respect, Mr. Justice, with all due respect, I lived quite comfortably and happy up until Larry's death. Nothing's really changed for me. I'd go so far as to kill somebody. I can't believe it. No, I refuse to believe it. Well, Miss Butts, my theory. Ah, but yes, your theory. Everyone's essentially said that it is a stretch. I won't be an exception, I assure you. But that obviously hasn't stopped you. So my opinion won't either. I come here with the task of showing a possibility, blah blah blah. Alright, Mr. Justice, let's play by your rules then. Your theory still doesn't work. And here's why. Boom. Flawed design. Yeah, the font has definitely changed. Either internally on AA Online or on my web browser. Just went through some shit with the most recent Firefox updates, deciding to randomly disable ad block because it didn't confirm to the proper standards. I have literally no connection with Mr. Wright. I have no idea why he would want to kill Larry. Same for Trucy. Can't imagine why she would want to see Larry dead. Even if we were to ignore the question of motive, your theory doesn't really work. What if I had gone with Trucy when Wright had returned? I'd have been near the dining room, heard the gunshot, and gone in after the two of them. And so I would have been the one to notice that the window wasn't closed. I know there was no way to ensure that I would stay in the living room. Now your whole basis for the idea that Trucy's an accomplice becomes meaningless. Since there's no other way for Wright to have escaped, he couldn't have killed Larry. Huh. Let me tell you right now. You won't get through this argument. I don't think that's for you to decide. I'm just giving you a fair warning. There are two ways this will end. One, you give up. Or two, you go down a very wrong path. Oh boy, that sounds like it was directed at me directly. Larry was never a competent man, you see. Quite naive. Quite easy to manipulate. I may carry his name, but I don't share any of those qualities. By accusing Mr. Wright, and especially Miss Smith, you made yourself my enemy. Not a single one of my enemies has ever won against me, Mr. Justice. I don't think you'll be an exception. Wow. I think you'll see I make a formidable foe. Considering that you've been allowed to come in this far, you better be. Oh boy, this feels like a... This feels like it's got a final boss written all over it. Frickin' super objection option. Don't bother. What she means by that is that even though I knew Larry, there's virtually no interaction between me and her. At least none that would warrant me killing Larry for her. So your motive doesn't really work. Ah, that's a lie. I saw the way you reacted to her name, damn you. You seem angry, Mr. Justice? His reaction earlier. What reaction? He reacted upon hearing your name. So? He was surprised that I, of all things, was the suggested motive. Nothing less, nothing more. Naturally, if it is something more, we would like to see some evidence of that. Or, since we're playing in Justice Land, something that would at least suggest it. Again, don't bother. Doesn't exist. Don't even try it, Spikes. If you want to say I did have a reason, better show some proof. Actual proof. Actually, we can go easy on him. As long as he can show something that has a possibility that you would have reasons for killing him. It should be enough. But then he'll... Don't worry. There's nothing. Because you don't have any reason to do this. Right. You hear that? The person that lived in the house for years is telling you that I have no motive. Object to that. Now, don't push him. We don't want to taunt him. He needs to make his own decision. About what? Whether or not he's really on the right track here, of course. And why is that? I'm getting sick of questions like that. Are you going to let me finish, please? Don't worry. You'll hear it. Okay, calm down, Apollo. Let's focus. Don't think about the motives. Think about the crime. Just think about the crime. Uh-oh, he's thinking. That's not really a good sign. As I said, no need to worry. He can't answer this problem. Not if he intends to win, at least. What if I had gone with Trucy when Wright had returned? You mean, what if you'd accompanied her to the dining room? That is what I said, yes. I mentioned earlier, I stayed in the living room. And that's where I was when I heard the gunshot. Now, here's a hypothetical scenario. Assuming Trucy and Mr. Wright are the culprits. What if I'd gone with Trucy? What would have happened then? Oh, well. Let me tell you what would have happened. I would have been near the dining room, heard the gunshot, and gone in after the two of them. Well, there really is no reason to question this part. It's only logical. There's no way I would have walked away. There was no response from the other side of the door. Especially when it was locked. And especially when we heard a gunshot. Now, Trucy, remember. According to Mr. Justice, it was a tape recording. Ugh. Taunting me. Larry was already dead. Nick had already killed him. Nick? I thought there was no connection between you two. My, aren't you perceptive? Fortunately, you don't get a cookie. Oh, you never called me Nick in my life. Because we're not close. Oh, yeah, great. The look on Mr. Justice's face when he believed that was the case. That was priceless. This feels so sinister. Is this the part where you fiendishly chuckle? Why? I'm not evil. I'm merely making a point. A point that Mr. Justice will have no choice but to accept. So I would have been the one to notice that the window wasn't closed. Ooh! No bother on this. This is the most logical occurrence. There's a chance that the maid would notice it. There's a chance I would, too. And what was your basis for accusing me again? Oh yeah, that I had to have seen it. Well, because I didn't. Instead of admitting you're just wrong. I'm an accomplice. So what would have happened to the plan if I just decided to go? If I told Trucy to wait in the living room? What if I was the one to greet Mr. Wright? What if the two of us heard the gunshot? What if? So many what ifs, so many holes, so many oversights. Those are the staples of your theories. They're all what ifs. How about you show us something that actually happened, huh? Oh, but that's right. You can't. Because then, you would lose. Face it, it was suicide. There's no alternate solution. Before you go into suggesting cheap tricks. No, there's no way to ensure that I would have stayed in the living room. That felt like the dialogue right before a bad ending. What exactly happened in the living room? Nothing much. We sat down and talked. When Mr. Wright came back, I sent Trucy to greet him. How did you know it was him? Ah, that's another thing. I didn't. Rang the doorbell. Sent Trucy to look who it is, while I stayed in the living room. So no, Trucy couldn't have influenced my decision in any way. Maybe couldn't have influenced in any way. Seriously, does this guy speak English? Hey, I'm just doing my job. There was no way. If she did, then there's virtually nothing to suggest it. Damn it. So your whole basis for the idea that Trucy's an accomplice becomes meaningless. basically, you're saying that because you could have hypothetically gone and seen the window open, that Miss Smith is completely innocent. Essentially, yes. Was it impossible that Mr. Wright convinced her of becoming an accomplice after the actual murder?
Objection!
Now that is where we come back to the motivations. How can I convince her in such a short amount of time? Besides, it would have been a pretty flimsy plan, don't you think? It pretty much required at least one person to be with it when the gunshot was heard. So the door was broken down. You should have been aware of the risk. The window would have been seen open. At least, that is going by your logic. So the person that was with him must have been in on it from the start. Otherwise, he would have been running a huge risk. What if Trucy had said no? All that planning, all that work would have been for nothing. Ah, wait, let me guess. He used mind control on me. Now that is perfect logic. You can learn a thing or two from her, boy. How is that supposed to work? Was it illogical? I just explained to you that it doesn't make sense for Trucy to be an accomplice. If that's the case, your original explanation that Wright got in through the window doesn't work anymore. Hence, yet again, someone would have noticed that the window wasn't properly closed. And so, you lose. We'll see about that. I'm not done yet. Here comes justice. This isn't good. To think of something, and fast. Current theory revolves around Wright getting in and out of the room through the window. By her logic, that doesn't make sense. She brings up quite a few good points. Is there really no other possibility I can exploit here? No other scenario I can show? Come on, go Apollo, go. Oh boy. What about gone with Trucy when Wright returned? I am at a loss here. Genuinely at a loss here. We're back, and I think I have this figured out. So I think it's this point we have to attack. I think we're still not in the presenting solid evidence business, but we're still in the theorizing business, but I think that's the point we need to attack. This was the point in cross-exam, where it was kinda hinted that maybe there's something we can prove there, but I don't think we can solidly offer a theory with the evidence we have. Here, the different thought we can offer, since we have to super object, if Wright didn't go through the window, then he went through the door. So we tack on the key, add more evidence. If Wright went through the door, then he had to have given the key to Trucy. There, okay. You asked me not to disappoint you, Miss Butts. And I aim to please. Oh, so you've still got fight left in you. Good. Let's see what you can do, then. My pleasure. First off, I'll agree that you are correct on one point. Considering the circumstances, it's impossible for Mr. Wright to have escaped the room through the window. Hence, it's impossible for me to be the killer. I see. Clever, Mr. Justice. Huh? However, that doesn't mean that escape was impossible. In fact, the path to an escape was very simple. You just had to use the door. I think you're forgetting the basic facts here. The key was found inside of the room. Oh, I remember the facts very well. But you don't remember my theories from earlier, Miss Von Karma. What? What I'm suggesting is this. Mr. Wright used the key to escape the dining room and locked it from the outside. Oh, and that's where it's impossible. She just told you that. Will you please let me finish for once? Yes, the key was supposedly found in the room after the door was broken down. Supposedly. Are we seriously back to that? Yeah. Hello. Did you forget Miss Maya's testimony from earlier? All three of you are in cahoots. I did not, Miss Smith. That testimony gave you an alibi and proved that you didn't commit the murder. But didn't eliminate the possibility that you planted the key. But upon returning, when you met at the dining room door, Mr. Wright gave you the key to plant back on Mr. Butts' corpse.
Objection!
But why? If they were culprit and accomplice, there would be no need for that. Ah, but you forget. There was no way they could have known whether or not Miss Butts would have come with them to the dining room door. In fact, they probably prepared the plan in anticipation for that. And so the last problem is resolved. Mr. Wright left the room through the door, exited the house normally. Later returned and gave the key to the dining room, the dining room back to Miss Smith. And she, in turn, planted it on the body. That's the truth. In theory. The truth. My, aren't you confident? You're about to shoot me down again, aren't you? Huh? Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I just remembered something. It took me a while to actually put the face and name together, but I remember now. Remember what? I remember. What? Mr. Gavin was there on the night of Larry's death. I was mistaken earlier. What? Oh my. We're in final boss territory now. We talked a little while I was working the garden. That's what neither of you said earlier. Ah, yes. I remember now, too. You must excuse me, it was a month ago. What the hell? Your Honor, you can't honestly believe this. I don't believe this. I was unprepared, Your Honor. Earlier, I testified purely out of my wish to clear Mr. Wright's name. Seeing Miss Butts completely slipped my mind, I'm afraid. No! Your Honor, please! I was still in a bit in shock. I mean, being called to a suicide trial a month after my husband's death? To be honest, I didn't even think about what happened before he pulled the trigger. Oh, come on! Your Honor, it's obvious they're lying here! Well, Mr. Justice, it appears that you were wrong. If you will remember, Mr. Gavin testified that I did not go anywhere near that window. As such, it's impossible for me to be the culprit. Oh boy! No, I refuse! And, by extension, it's impossible for me to be an accomplice! Your Honor. Mr. Justice. Yes? Do you have any evidence to suggest that these people are giving false testimony? Just look at them! Your Honor, I caught them lying earlier! You can't allow them to just change their story. Their reasons are entirely justified and human. Unless you can provide definite proof. Happened to not standing such an obvious and pathetic lie. Fine. And I want them to testify. Why? We'd just be retreading old ground. Because you're making stuff up on the go. Which means I can catch you in another lie. Your Honor, they officially revised their testimonies. Defense demands a right to cross-examine. Very well. You have that right, Mr. Justice. You bet your ass I do. You never learn, do you? Well, if we must. Oh boy, now what? Gavin, our story. I was unaware of it at the time. I did witness the figurine collector's demise. He wasn't lying earlier. I didn't instantly remember him, but yes, he was there. Yes, and Miss Butts was there in the garden, that garden as well. After she left, I stuck around in front of the house for quite some time. And I went back inside, where I saw Larry closing the dining room door. After which, Trucy and I were together until the gunshot. In the meantime, I witnessed Mr. Wright approach the house at around 10 p.m. Up until that point, I saw nobody else. What he means by that, I imagine, is that nobody else approached the house, especially the window. And since there was no other possible way into the dining room, it's impossible for Larry's death to have been a murder. And that's it, the truth. Well, kids, we're fucked. There, I admit, I was skeptical. I was frustrated. I was frustrated with Ares throwing me into this. Now, though? Now I'm just angry. I think they're so arrogant that they can get away with that flat-out lying? No, I won't let them. I don't care if Wright did it. I don't care if they're lying for his sake. All that I know is that they're lying. I'll catch them. I'll catch them if it's the last thing I do. Your Honor, before I begin, I'd like to state that we've all gotten a bit sick and tired of Mr. Justice's outlandish accusations. Not to mention, I'd say this trial has gone on far longer than it should have. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I thought so. As such, I'd like to propose one tiny restriction on Mr. Justice, if possible. Restriction? It's quite simple. Don't waste our time. One, I think you've got all the information regarding what happened that night. So I don't think it'd be really necessary to go on with pressing me or Mr. Gavin. But it's completely unnecessary, wouldn't you say? And secondly, let me guess, larger penalties. A very good guess, Mr. Justice. Yes, that is exactly what I am suggesting. Fine. Mr. Justice? I accept those terms. Quite obvious that you won't let yourself slip up anymore anyways. One thing, though. I don't think a super objection would be absolutely necessary here. You can still use it, but something tells me that one evidence will be enough. Alright. I can fill in the blanks myself, additionally. Let's begin.